Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Everything here is fantastic. It's Friday. It's going to be a beautiful weekend here. And I think that I want to say, have a beautiful weekend. I hope we all get to have a beautiful weekend. I hope that regardless of what is going on in the world or in your local area or what social media is telling you or what our president is telling you, that you get to just kind of stop and decide to have a good weekend, right? Like, just decide. You know, in relation to yesterday's topic where I discussed how I'd go and I overdo things before I realize that I've gone too far and then it's really hard to roll back or it's really hard for me to continue maintaining enthusiasm. I think that a lot of things like that, a lot of those personal issues can be overcome by just deciding not to do that. So if you can decide not to do something, that, like, I'm going to decide not to be a downer this weekend, then why can't I decide to have a good weekend? Like, this is going to be good. I don't give a shit what happens. I don't care, if the sky is falling. It's going to be good. I'm going to decide to have a good weekend. I don't have plans. My children are not here this weekend. It's just Em and I, and there's 1,000 projects that need completed. I'm probably going to try to finish the birdhouse project. I have a clock project I need to finish. I have a set of Imperial Settlers meeples I need to finish. I have drawers I need to finish for my bench. I have videos I need to finish. I have painting upstairs that needs finished. I have furniture that I need to build. Hey, there's like a bazillion things I could do. But the point is, I'm not going to try to say I'm going to do these things. I'm just going to say I'm going to have a good weekend. And hopefully part of that means I get stuff done. I want to ride my motorcycle. I haven't really ridden my motorcycle more than probably 100 miles this year. And that's really strange for me. So I want to ride my motorcycle this weekend. I want to use my burn pit. I put a burn pit in my backyard. I've only used it like twice now. I want to use my burn pit. Maybe I'll do some hamburgers on the grill. Maybe I'll have some steak this weekend. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I will just relax and watch movies and play games and work on my D&D scenario. I don't know what it is that I'm going to do. I'm just going to decide that whatever it is that I do is going to be great, and I'm going to have a good time with it. And I think that's important. Yesterday's discussion about me taking things too far really helped me kind of isolate the parts of this role-playing adventure that I want to put together. And I think I'm, energized again to dive back into it and finalize the... I don't want to say script. When you're working on an adventure for Dungeons and Dragons, it can become... You can become too rigid. You can try to say, well, this is what the players have to do, and I'm going to write a script for that. But that is not how you play the game, right? You play the game as a group. It's a group storytelling effort, not I'm telling you the story and you roll dice, right? That's not how it works. So I have scripted pieces. I have moments throughout that I need to have some sort of understanding of how it's going to work, and I'll ad-lib most of it. But I need to at least have the pieces in place for me to have a loose framework, and that's kind of the point of writing an adventure like this. It's just a moments in time. Here's bits and pieces. You figure out how to get the players there, right? That's the real onus of the game master, is to if you want to tell this story, if you want to take the players to this place, whether it's a dungeon or a town or a cave or a mountain or whatever, I will tell you about that dungeon or cave or mountain. It's your job to figure out how to get them there, right? I give suggestions. You figure out how to get them there, and then you can step through it. So I'm going to work on that. But again, I think the point is to not say I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, because I figure I've always found that when I say I'm going to do this, I very rarely do. I very rarely actually do it. Because either the saying I'm going to do this is my reward and I don't need to do it, or I get sidetracked on some other idea and I end up doing that instead, and then that kind of lets me down on the original project. Working on M's desk, there was a whole bunch of moments in time where I needed to come down here and just work on the desk, but I would get sidetracked and be like, well, in order to work on the desk, I have to make this jig for my biscuit joiner, or instead of working on the desk, I have to make these dividers to evenly separate the drawers, or whatever. So I would get sidetracked, and then that made me feel bad because I didn't do what I said I was going to do. What I did was helping me further the project, but I didn't do what I said I was going to do. So all I'm going to do this weekend is have an amazing weekend. And I hope that you get to have an amazing weekend. I hope you get to decide to have an amazing weekend. And I think that part of that means that even if your weekend isn't great, you decide to think that it is. And you decide to say, you know what, it could be worse. It could be way worse. So that's all I have for you today. Short one. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking and commenting and subscribing and being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I will see you again Monday. Monday. Today's word you should know sounds smart is capricious. It's an adjective meaning prone to quickly change one's mind, decision, or course of action at the drop of a hat or on impulse. How fitting for today's topic. I do not understand the capricious lewdness of the sleeping mind. John Cheever, an American novelist. Capricious. C-A-P-R-I-C-I-O-U-S.